Hello, welcome to our session today. So we're going to be exploring EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, tapping for self-love. So you might have noticed that it's Valentine's Day on Friday coming up. So we're just going to explore a bit of how you can navigate that. Sometimes it brings different things up for us, doesn't it? So we'll explore a bit about that and give you some tapping tools today to help navigate that, to bring in that self-worth, that self-compassion, focusing on the inner sort of the inner love, that inner connection that can help guide you through that, whatever your situation is. Whether you are single, recently single, you might have been single for a long time, you might be in a relationship but want more self-love and connection. You might be experiencing some challenges around relationship, partnership. This session really could apply to anybody because it's about nourishing the connection with yourself. Okay, so I'm Stella, and you might have come along to my sessions on here before, or you might be brand new. Welcome, either way. It's lovely to have you join. With the process of emotional freedom technique, we are tapping on points around the meridian system, around the body. We're going to speak as well. So we're combining the somatic, the body, and where we hold things in the body, with the cognition, the mind, and our thoughts and our beliefs. It's all connected. So we're bringing those together, which helps energy move and flow. And emotions are a huge part of that. So as we do the process together, you might have emotions come up. You might feel some shifts, energy shifts in your body, or you might not have any of that, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong. Everyone experiences EFT differently. Yeah, it's an absolutely sort of safe practice. It's really gentle, but also powerful. And it's evidence-based. We know that it reduces stress, it reduces cortisol, and it helps us to relax as well as, helps process different things like trauma. There's lots of studies and evidence that are growing about it. But today we're just going to dip our toe in with this topic about self-love and helping you build a bit of a foundation for the week ahead, just in case it feels a bit shaky, maybe it feels challenging for you. Okay, so for the session, all you need is yourself and a quiet space. It might be good to have a glass of water or something nice for refreshment near you, because we are doing healing work. We're moving energy. That does take it takes energy in itself. So we want to make sure we're replenishing, we're supporting your system. So after the session today, make sure you take really good care, drink plenty of water. Okay, and we'll explore a bit around this topic. We'll go into some grounding together. We'll do some tapping. We might do a little meditation as well, and we'll see how we get on. So I'll just follow my intuition with what comes up, and also, I'm following what comes up for people I work with one-to-one as well. Okay. So just take a moment. Let's just take a moment to take some nice deep breaths. You might like to close your eyes, place a hand on your heart perhaps. So we do this quite a lot. It's a nice way just to change our energy, to tap into the body. We might even start tapping around the heart. So we're just waking it up, this energy that's here. So if you imagine that we're like an electromagnetic field, evidence, we're understanding the human system much more like that. Everything's energy, right? And we are radiating energy beyond what we can visibly see, beyond the skin. And the heart is a huge part of that. We radiate energy around the heart. So we're just tapping into that and waking it up. Nice deep breaths. And as you're doing this, you might like to imagine the colour green, if you're a visual person. If you're not, you might just get a sense of that colour, that quality. Just imagining the colour green in your heart, in your chest, beginning to grow. It's like you're tapping into it. Nice deep breath, softening your shoulders, softening your body, letting go a little bit. Just noticing that sensation of tapping is a really good place to start. Begin to bring you into your body, a bit of mindfulness into the moment. So imagining that green is getting brighter, bigger. There might be different shades all mixed in, or just one shade. Just letting it grow and expand. And it might start to feel your body reaching different areas and organs, reaching all your cells, your thoughts, your feelings. Just imagine this green reaching to the very top of your head and perhaps all the way down to the very tips of your toes. And at the tips of your toes, just imagine a connection to the earth. So you've got roots, you're grounded, you're connected. You're being held through this experience. You might imagine the roots going down deeper through the layers of the earth. This is a great practice. I use this a lot. It's really good for grounding, because when we feel grounded and comfortable and safe in our body, more regulated, when our nervous system's more regulated, we're able to open up to new possibilities, we're able to heal, we're able to think more clearly and get clarity. And it's okay if that's hard for you right now. There are a lot of us are struggling with intense energy, stress, fight or flight, anxiety. It is a part of the human experience. And the world can be really overwhelming. Whatever you've got going on in your life at the moment could be really overwhelming. So we're just bringing ourselves to the breath, to the heart energy, the heart area, and those roots, that color green and those roots. It can be a really nice heart-centered practice as we're cultivating this self-compassion and self-love today. But it's also really nice to extend that. So you could extend this green light, this energy out to the room around you. Even further, you could extend it to the street that you live on. Some people that you know well. Maybe some neighbours, some people that you sort of see out and about but you don't know very well. You could send them some of this green heart energy. Just wishing them the best. Whatever their situation is, all the things you don't know about them, all the things that you could guess about them. Try and let go of judgment and just send some of that green heart energy. And then send it to some strangers, some people that you don't even know. You might think of somebody that you came across recently, maybe somebody that served you in a shop, somebody you drove past, maybe the bin person that came to take your bin this week. Just connecting to sending out that energy further into the world if you can, across the country and beyond, into all the other countries, all around the world. And then I want you to bring it back to you. So we're going to begin to bring all that heart, that green energy back into your body, into your heart, intensifying, wrapping it around you. Knowing that this session is about honoring you, your needs, your self-worth. And we're all connected. We're all connected, to each other, the universe, the world. As humans, we're all living our own experience. And this session is about filling up your cup. Filling up your cup a bit so you have some more energy, some more grounding in yourself. It really affects how we show up in the world. Okay, you can stop tapping. Keep up nice deep breaths if you can. So I think, as we said at the start, whatever your situation is in terms of, around Valentine's Day, whether you are dreading it and you hate it, or maybe it doesn't feel like a thing to you at all, you might have some resistance around some of the commercialism of it, which is very natural. Whatever your relationship to it is, don't make it wrong. Try not to fixate on that. We can just acknowledge it. And in this session, we're going to just peel back a bit of some of the barriers towards showing yourself the compassion that you need, that you deserve. So some of this might be challenging. Self-compassion, self-kindness can be really tricky for us. And if it's tricky for you, know that that's okay. That's okay. So if at any point, you feel like this isn't the right time for you to do this session, trust it. You can go away, and you can come back. This is the beauty of these sessions. You can watch them back at your leisure, but you'll be guided through that. So, okay. So let's take a moment to tune into the body and just see when you think. You can close your eyes when you think about, Valentine's Day. When you think about all that stuff that you might have a sort of connected to that idea, just see if you notice how you feel in your body. Does it bring up any anxiety, any sadness? Just notice that. Try not to make it wrong. We're just tuning into the body. Just notice any voices or any thoughts you have around what's coming up for you and just honor it. So through this session, we want to use a scale. So we use a scale that's 1 to 10. And ideally, in this sort of general session, we want to be working with things that are 7 or under in terms of intensity. So if you have emotions that come up through this session that feel like they're above a 7 out of 10, you might want to pause, take yourself away, seek some one-to-one support if that feels good. If you need that, it might be one-to-one chat with somebody, or it might be, more you want to take some space to work with a one-to-one therapist or practitioner. It might be just taking a breather and having a cup of tea. So it's just about keeping yourself safe. You don't need to force yourself, in any way. You want to be comfortable, and just see where the session leads you. Okay, so just tuning into that, noticing what comes up for you, because it's really good to be aware. Awareness is like medicine. We need to be aware in order to shift and move and clear energy. But we're going to use some, really uplifting language, affirmations, opening new possibilities for your self-care today. Okay, so we're going to tap the outside of the hand. This is the first point we use with EFT. It doesn't matter how fast you tap. It doesn't matter how hard you tap. And it can be either side. It can be either hand. It doesn't matter. So just find your pace with it. It's just on the side of the hand here. Taking a nice deep breath, I want you to repeat after me. Even though sometimes it feels difficult to take good care of myself and to really love myself. In this moment, I'm going to try to acknowledge this and accept myself anyway. Okay, so it's ideal to say it out loud. You can say it in your head, but it is most powerful to say it out loud. And what we're doing is we're acknowledging some of the difficulty around what you might be feeling and some of the challenges, and we're balancing that with self-compassion. So it's really important to acknowledge both. So repeat again, even though I find it difficult to take good care of myself, to really love myself and honor my needs. Sometimes I don't feel good enough. And in this moment, I'm going to try to accept myself anyway and to be really kind to myself because I'm doing my best. Okay, so we'll say something like that one more time. We usually do 3 statements at this point before we move on to the other points. Nice deep breaths. Even though sometimes it's really hard to feel worthy, to feel good about myself, to show myself love. Right now, I'm going to try to accept this and to be kinder to myself, to give myself some grace, to take really good care of myself, my needs, my body, my emotions. I'm doing my best, and that's good enough. So we're going to tap the top of the head, Just tapping around the top, nice deep breath. Sometimes I don't feel worthy. I know I should take care of myself. Inner eyebrow, so you don't have to repeat this bit, but just to say, I come across this a lot with clients. There's a should. I should take care of myself. I know I should, eat better or do more exercise, take more time out from work, relax, do things for me. But there seems to be a barrier and a block to doing that. Sometimes they're practical things like we might have people that we're looking after, or we might struggle with time, we have restrictions. And obviously, there's habits around food and stuff. But sometimes there's more to it than that as well. There might be a part of us that doesn't feel like we deserve to give ourselves that care and that attention. We might be more readily able to give that to other people, like a partner or a friend or a family member. And so we can get curious about that. And curiosity is the first step to change. So just being curious about what your patterns might be around self-care. And if there is like I should, just notice it. Outer eyes. And repeat. I know I should take better care of myself. I should take much better care of myself. Under the eyes. But sometimes it's hard. It's hard to put my needs first. Under the nose. I'm just going to say, this is obviously a general session, so some of these things might really land and really resonate. But there might be the odd person that feels like that doesn't fit you, and that's okay. You can change and adjust the wording to fit what's going on for you, so feel free to do that. The more specific and personal it feels, the more powerful it will be in your healing. So just repeat. I know I should take better care of myself, but it's not always easy. Under the mouth, just above the chin. I know I should honour my needs, but it's hard to find the time. So we're going to tap a point just under your collarbone on both sides. You can do it with both hands like this, or you might use one hand and go across like this. Just see what feels best for you. So the little soft spot just under your collarbone. Nice deep breath. I don't always feel worthy. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't focus on myself. Maybe it feels selfish. So just see what comes up for you around that, this idea of self-love, self-compassion. How does that make you feel? You might think, yeah, that feels good. You might have an icky feeling around it. Culturally, some cultures are more comfortable with those kind of language, that kind of attitude than others. So just be aware of that, what it brings up for you. Take a nice deep breath and repeat. It's not always easy to take good care of myself. I'd like to. I'd like to honour my needs, have self-compassion, but it's not always easy. And just acknowledge what that means to you. For some of us, we might be really hard on ourselves. There might be those thought patterns, beating yourself up, that you're not good enough. You might have a really high bar. It might be there's something you don't like about yourself, maybe, that you tend to feel not great about. We've all got our own stuff around it, so just acknowledge it. Take nice deep breaths. Check in on what's coming up for you. Remember that intensity. So we want to be working with stuff that's a 7 or lower. If not, take a moment, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Under the arm. I'd like more self-compassion. I'd like to learn to honour my needs more. Tapping across the wrist. So it can be either wrist, it doesn't matter, just tapping across like this. I've been through a lot in my life. And I've learned lots of things along the way. I'd like to learn how to take better care of myself. How to love myself more. Tapping the thumb. So if saying love, love yourself feels too, or that might just feel too much, you can adapt it and change it. It might be accept yourself. It might be kinder to yourself. It might be like yourself. But accept is quite good because we can accept ourselves a bit more, even if we don't like or love ourselves in the moment. You know. Okay, we're tapping either side of the thumb where the nail bed begins. We're going to go on to the next finger now. Nice deep breath. I'd like to accept myself more. Next finger. I'd like to take good care of myself this week. Next finger. I'd like to honour who I am. Next finger. As an individual. Top of the head. So we're going to go through again, top of the head. I'd like to honour who I am. My unique qualities. Inner eyebrows. I don't always love myself. Sometimes it's hard. Outer eyes. I'd like to take better care of myself. I'd like to be kinder to myself. Underneath. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure where to begin. I wonder what I could do. I wonder what steps I could take today. Under the mouth. I wonder what steps I could take this week to show myself more compassion. Collarbone. So you might have some things that are coming up for you. It might be like take a bit of space. I was going to say nature. I mean, the weather where I am in Norfolk isn't great. I don't know what it's meant to be like for the rest of the week, but it might be take a bit of space in nature. It might be doing a nice relaxation, having a nice relaxing bath, connecting with somebody that uplifts you like a friend. It might be having a little treat like watching a favourite film. There's so many things and it's all unique for us, isn't it? So you might have some stuff coming up about what you think would be nourishing for you. It might be around a really nourishing meal. Might be a new habit, an exercise, doing some sessions on the virtual village hall. That could be a form of self-compassion, giving yourself some time to do things that help you to grow, to feel comfortable in your body, to rest, relax. We all need different things at different moments throughout the day, throughout the week. So let's just see if we can make a bit of a pact with ourselves to tune in and see what we need and what we can give ourselves. So we're tapping under the arm. Realise I didn't say it on the other round. It's just on the side. So if you wear a bra strap, it's just where the bra strap would be. We just tap on the side, under the armpit. Nice deep breaths. So if there's any points we're doing that aren't possible for you, don't worry. You can miss a point out and still get great benefit. That's okay. You shouldn't be in any discomfort or pain. Just repeat. It's Valentine's Day this week. Valentine's Day is coming up. And as you do that, I want you just to acknowledge if you have any reaction to that. Do you have any emotions? Do you have any sensations in your body? You might not, but it might bring some stuff up for you. That's okay. That's really good. So we're just helping that to move through a bit. Tapping across the wrist again, either side. Remember, nice deep breath. And repeat after me. I accept that I feel this way. I'm going to try to accept myself, maybe even love myself exactly as I am. Tapping the thumb either side where the nail bed begins, because maybe I do deserve to feel loved and accepted. Next finger. I just want you to acknowledge anything that brings up for you. If you have big resistance, that's okay. Take a breath, soften the body. Next finger. I accept how I feel about this as much as I can. Next finger. I'm doing my best. And that's good enough. Next finger. And I wonder what I can learn about taking care of myself. Okay, take a breath. We explored quite a lot of different things there. So it might have brought up some different things for you, might have taken you on a bit of a journey. If you have pen and paper, or maybe your phone just to write some notes, you might want to note down anything that came up. So any ideas that came up around how you might take care of yourself, or any challenges and blocks and emotions you have around like Valentine's Day, some of the stuff that we're exploring, self-worth, self-compassion, just honor that. You can note anything. You might have had a memory come up, which can be useful to work with healing. We can sometimes take memories to work one-to-one practitioners that can help us, sort of reduce the charge and heal different things that might be lodged in our energy system, in our emotions, in our head. So that could be really useful. But yeah, take a few minutes, just check in with your body, note anything down, have a little drink. And just see how you feel. Do you feel resourced, like you want to continue with this? Do you feel like you want to go away, process some of it, and come back and watch the rest another time? You've got all these options, so just listen to what you need. That's really what we're doing. We're focusing this week, on your self-compassion, self-connection, and asking you and your body what you need. We can so often get pulled in different directions, can't we? Particularly when we have these stories and ideas around partnership, in the Disney story of meeting the one. At the end of the day, it's about what you need. It's about how you feel. The relationship with yourself is really important, and that's what we're working on really in this session, is honoring and bolstering, growing that relationship with yourself. Because when we've got that relationship with ourselves that feels stronger, then whatever happens externally, we're always going to be more rooted, more resourceful. We're going to bounce back quicker, and we're going to just be kinder to ourselves. So some self-care things that could be useful. So you can take some of these tapping points away. You can keep it really simple. You don't need to do the whole sequence. You can if you want to and you remember it, but you could just tap one point. Quite often people tap like this one, but you might have another point that felt particularly powerful for you. And you can just tap and breathe. That's going to help you to relax. It's going to help your system to regulate more. Help you to move and release if you just soften your body and relax whilst you tap and breathe. You can use some really simple statements that we're working with, like, even though I feel, acknowledge what you feel. You can acknowledge where you feel it in your body. For example, even though I feel sad in my tummy, right now, I'm going to try to accept myself anyway. Really simple. That can guide you through the week. But also, checking in with your system, your body. What does it need? What food does it need? What space do you need? Quite often we go through life busy doing, and we forget to even ask ourselves, and particularly connect with our body. There's a lot of wisdom in the body. In order to feel the self-compassion and self-care, we do need to connect with the body. And we've all got a different relationship with that. So if that's brand new and quite intimidating, you might need more support, to connect with your body. It depends on your unique journey. So we're not forcing it. But if we can just lean into self-care, lean into self-compassion of the body a few % more, that's going to make a difference. It's enough. We don't have to take huge leaps. You don't have to have a massive list of self-care stuff that you're going to do this week. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It could be one thing, one thing you do this week for yourself. And it might be this session, one thing you do maybe a week, or particularly on Friday for yourself. Make it manageable and achievable. So then you can really just enjoy it and feel proud that you met that and that you did that for yourself. Okay, so hopefully you've noted down anything that's come up, so you could use that in the session or you could return to it. Remember, you can replace any words I use. You can find what's really specific to you through this process. So we're going to start tapping the outside of the hand again, taking a nice deep breath. And just ground yourself. So I just want you to re-enter your body. You might use that colour green from the heart, those roots going down from your feet into the earth. And just repeat, even though I'd like to take better care of myself, but I have some resistance. Acknowledge what your resistance is. Is it time? Is it people? Is it feeling guilty? Is it struggling to show yourself love? So be really specific and say it out loud. I'm struggling to show myself compassion because in this moment, I make a choice to open to a new possibility. What if I was kinder to myself? What if I took really good care of myself this week? What if I honoured my needs and saw my uniqueness? So you're not looking for an answer, we're just putting the question out there. Like, what would that be like to honour my uniqueness? Maybe even celebrate my uniqueness. Don't worry if you're not there. That might feel like, oh no, that's too much. And that's okay. Just repeat, even though sometimes it's really hard to be kind to myself and to honour my needs. There's always something else to do. Maybe there's someone else to be. Maybe you're not sort of really in the moment. You might just be rushing around trying to impress people, whatever your thing is. Right now, I'm going to try to accept myself as I am and to honour my needs, to take better care of myself, to accept myself more, to love myself more. Remember, if you don't feel comfortable with that, that's okay. You don't have to say it. You can just say to like myself more. Even though it's not always easy to honour my needs, to focus on what I need and want. I don't always show myself compassion, but part of me wants to, because I know that if I do, I'll be a better version of myself. So just sit with that idea that if we fill up our cup, we're able to give more to others. And repeat, in this moment, make a choice to open up to a new possibility of where self-compassion could lead me, of where more self-care could lead me. I'm doing my best. What if that was good enough? What if there was nothing to prove and I'm enough just as I am? Just let that sit with you. You might stir something up. Just take a nice deep breath. We'll say it again. What if there's nothing to prove? What if I am whole and enough, worthy and lovable, just as I am? Wonder what that would be like. Top of the head. So remember, if this is stirring things up, bringing things up, just take a deep breath. Don't fight or tense up. Really just soften and let the emotions come. If it's a 7 or above in terms of intensity, take a moment, do what you need to do, make sure you're resourced, you're comfortable, you're safe. If you're comfortable to carry on, then keep tapping with me and just let the body soften and relax as much as you can. Keep breathing to move the energy through and repeat. I wonder what it would be like to honour my uniqueness in our eyebrows. Because the truth is, there's nobody else quite like me. Outer eyes. I don't always appreciate that. I don't always feel good about myself. Under the eyes. I am only human. And a lot of people struggle with this. Under the nose. I wonder if I could take better care of myself. Nice deep breath. I wonder what it would be like under the mouth to take good care of myself, to really honour my uniqueness, my wholeness. Collar button. But I don't always feel whole and worthy. Quite often I'm trying to prove myself or beating myself up. Under the arm, just on the side where your bra strap is if you wear one. Maybe there's a different way to do this. Maybe this week I'll be really kind and loving to myself. So remember, if that's too much, just 1%, a few percent of being more kind and loving to yourself. It could be something really small that you do for yourself. Yeah, there's no change that's too small. Small steps lead to great strides. Tapping the wrist. I've been through a lot in my life. But when I came into the world as a baby, I knew that I was lovable. So see what that idea brings up in you. Sometimes we forget that. But as a baby, we didn't doubt it. You know, we cried when we needed feeding or attention. We expressed ourselves. We knew that we were worthy. Tapping either side of the thumb. When I came into this world as a baby, next finger, I knew that I was lovable. Next finger. I knew that I was whole and worthy. Next finger. Somewhere along the way, I might have forgotten it. Next finger. But I can always remember. Top of the head. I'd like to take better care of myself this week. I'm going to choose one step I can take. Inner eyebrows. So that step might come up really clearly. You might already have clarity on it, or it might come to you later. That's okay. Remember to keep breathing nice and deep. There's a lot going on for me this week. Valentine's Day doesn't always feel great. Again, if that resonates for you, but you could have changed the words if you have some different feelings around that. I'd like to take better care of myself, but part of me doesn't. Underneath, part of me knows I should take care of myself, but part of me doesn't want to. Under the nose. I acknowledge these parts. Maybe they can come closer together. The mouth. It's part of me that knows that I should take care of myself, be kind to myself. Collarbone. But there's another part that thinks that that's stupid. So it might be, that part thinks that that's silly, or maybe thinks that that's a bit selfish. That's a really common theme. Maybe doesn't even know where to begin with any of this. So just acknowledge what that other part is for you, that resistance to self-care, self-love. Under the arm. I wonder what it would be like. Wake up on Valentine's Day and to honor myself in a new way. Tapping the wrist. It hasn't always been like that, and I'm not sure how to do it. I am curious, tapping either side of the thumb, how I could honor my needs. Next, take really good care of myself. Next finger. I wonder what this could be like for me. Next finger. If I choose to accept myself a bit more. Next finger. And to do something really nice for myself. Top of the head. We'll do one more round on this. Nice deep breaths. I'd like to take better care of myself, but I have some resistance to this. Inner eyebrows. There's a part of me that resists it, stops me doing it. Outer eyes. I'm not going to make that part wrong. I'm just going to notice it this week under the eyes and see if I can make a different choice. Be kinder to myself under the nose. Listen to my body and what it needs and take really good care of it under the mouth with the right exercise, right activities, being around the right people, the right foods, kind thoughts. Collarbone. Even if I can do this a little bit more, maybe that could make a difference for me. Maybe that could plant a seed of self-compassion, self-love. Maybe I could water that seed in the days, weeks, and months ahead. So it might be nice to visualize that. Yeah, just tapping this point, you can visualize planting that seed in the earth, using your hands, moving the soil, and beginning to water it. Imagining those roots beginning to grow, begins to come up and sprout. You might see that growing right now, or you might just know that spring is coming, it's going to grow in time. It's all a process, but it's in motion. Under the arm, just on the side. Sometimes it's difficult to love myself, to like myself. And I have my own journey with that. And I'm curious about learning more. Tapping the wrist. I wonder what I could do to take better care of myself. To show myself some love, some compassion this week. Because I am just doing my best. Tapping the thumb. And maybe my best is enough. Next. What if I've got nothing to prove? Next. What if doing my best is enough? Next finger. What if I'm already whole and lovable? Next finger. Just like that baby that came into the world. Okay, so we'll do one final round. Top of the head. Maybe I'm lovable and enough as I am. Just like when I was a baby. Inner eyebrows. Maybe everybody's worthy and lovable. And we're all in this together. Outer eyes. Maybe it's okay to have doubts and to struggle with this. Maybe I can find some hope and some peace under the eyes, even if it's just a little bit. I choose to take better care of myself this week, under the nose. So I'm going to set one thing I can do this week to show myself more compassion and care, under the mouth. And I'm going to imagine myself on the other side of that thing and how good it will feel to have followed through on the task and to have shown myself some compassion. Collarbone. And I'll tune into my body more and see what it really needs. And even if I struggle with this, I'll notice the small wins, small changes. Even just trying and setting the intention is a really good step of self-compassion. Under the arm. I'm doing my best. I choose to show myself grace and patience. Tapping the wrist. Whatever comes up for me this week, around Valentine's Day, around love, I'm going to try to love myself a bit more, to accept myself a bit more. I'm doing my best. Tapping either side of the thumb. And the moments when I don't accept myself, next finger, I'll try not to make those wrong. Next finger. Tomorrow is always a new day. Next finger. And I give myself grace. Next finger. Because I'm doing my best. Okay, take a moment. Take a breath. So we're going to work on that visualization a bit more around the seeds and the growing. So you can tap or hold this point on your hand. It's called the gamut point. So it's just here. Either hand is fine. So hold or tap like this, whatever feels good for you. And I want you, if you're comfortable to, close your eyes. And we're going to start with that gorgeous green heart-centered energy. So let's focus on that again. Let's grow that around your heart and around your body. Taking nice deep breaths, softening your body now. Letting that grow and grow. And I want you to imagine that flower bed. So we explored planting that seed before, but let's plant some more seeds. Some more seeds of self-care, self-love, compassion. So any of those seeds don't make it, we know it can be like that, the seasons and nature. We know that there's enough seeds to grow and to flourish for your self-care, for your path forwards. So plant a few more seeds. You can imagine that soil on your hands, in between your fingers, under your fingernails. Sometimes that soil has a smell, doesn't it? A nice earthy smell. You might connect with that, all your senses. What does this place look like where you're planting them? Is it a garden? You're in a woodland? Just notice. And begin to plant, sow these seeds, pushing them into the soil, patting the soil over. Do as many as you want to. Perhaps they're magic seeds and they multiply. There's no rules in this place. Be creative and playful. And then begin to water them. So you might have a watering can, a hose, or perhaps you look up and you see that it's about to rain. Just to make sure that they get all that nourishing water they need. And by this bed, this plant bed, there might be a little sign, a little plaque saying self-love or self-care. There might be your name too. And I want you to then notice the sun starts to come out and shine really brightly down on the seeds. And you might see a stirring. It might be a very quick, magical process, or perhaps you just know. You just know that it's in motion, just like before. You might even see ahead into the future when they're fully grown in this space, flourishing. And I want you to send some of that green energy into those plants, into those seeds. So that green heart energy from your body, you can send it into the earth, just into each seed, with a bit of extra love, extra connection, extra intention. Good. And we can go a step further if you want to. You can see yourself in the future. And it might be in a few days' time. It might be on Friday. It might be doing something nice for yourself, taking care of yourself, whatever that thing that came up was for you. It might be further ahead, a few months, a year from now. Imagine what your life would be like. And all these seeds have grown and you are doing more self-care habits. You're taking extra good care of yourself. You're being kinder to yourself. And we can make a small change this week that builds up over months. So in a year's time, what would that be like? How would you appear? What would you be doing in your day-to-day life? How might you be different? What do you look like? What's your expression and your posture? You can imagine that green light is there as well, wrapping around your body, this future you, filling all of your cells, almost glowing and radiating, just like earlier in that meditation. And that future you might have a message, might want to tell you something, say something to you, some words of encouragement, some wisdom. They might thank you for what you're doing right now and the self-care that helps them get to that point. Just see what happens. Let it happen. Take some nice deep breaths. And just relaxing your hand. Okay. Again, if you've got pen and paper or you want to take down some notes on your phone, then you can do that. You might want to take some sips. So anything that came up for you around that, just honor it. You might feel a bit of mix of emotions, and that's okay. That's all part of the process. Or you might not feel any of that, and that's okay too. Tools that you can take away. So it would be really good to explore that. Maybe one thing that you can do this week on Friday that's really like nourishing for you, honoring your needs and self-care. If you haven't come up with anything or you're struggling, it's okay. You don't need to force it. If you have come up with something, or you might do a bit later on when you're not sort of trying to think about it, then do that and then see how you feel on the other side. You can connect with that visualization of the seeds You can also connect to the color green, that heart energy, and also the vision of you in the future. So you can use that as often as you want to. A few minutes of connecting with that kind of visualization each day will be really powerful. But yeah, taking good care of yourself can be really challenging, and in different ways for us. For all of us, we have our own challenges around it. So show yourself some grace, some patience. You might do some more journaling now after this session. You might have some different ideas and things that you want to explore and to focus on. In terms of the tapping, as I said, I think just take one point away, and this is a good one, but it could be another one. And you could just say something like, even though I'm struggling to be kind to myself, I'm going to try to accept myself anyway. So I'll just let you note that down if you want to. Even though I'm struggling to be kind to myself, I'm going to try to accept myself anyway. Something like that. Remember, we're balancing the difficulty with the self-compassion. But you can just tap and breathe to help emotions move through and shift as well. The key is to not make anything wrong. Soften your body. You don't want to be tensing up. You might find through this week, and on Friday you might be tensing up if you feel uncomfortable or it's bringing up emotions for you. So just soften the body, breathe and tap, and take as good care of yourself as you can. Remember, sometimes it can feel strange at first, but the more it becomes a habit, this self-care stuff, the more the easier it will be, the more it will flow in the future. Small steps lead to great strides. You're doing so much better than you think you are. Well done for taking part in the session today. It might have been challenging for you. It might not have been, but it certainly could be for some of you. So well done on showing up for yourself. That is self-compassion and self-care. I hope you have a lovely week, and that these tools support you on your journey with self-compassion, self-care. It's so important all throughout the year, not just this week and around Valentine's Day. But obviously now, this week it's a great time to really focus on it, give yourself the chance to really grow those seeds of self-compassion and self-care. Okay, thank you so much. Drink plenty of water, really take good care of yourself. Make sure you give yourself whatever you need today. And I wish you well. I look forward to seeing you soon for another session of EFT or Qigong. Thank you.